¿Eh? Yo no. I mean, no time was wrong, so they can just keep us here forever. So yeah. I don't know por qué no stabilize.
All right. Welcome, everybody. On the right is Sid Grauman's Egyptian Theater. It's the first movie palace to open on Hollywood Boulevard. It opened on October 18th, 1922. The first day the theater opened October 18th, 1922. It hosted the first red carpet movie premiere in the history of the world. The Douglas Fairbanks silent classic Robin Hood had its red carpet premiere there October 18, 1922. This theater is now owned by Netflix, and to my knowledge, it's the only brick-and-mortar movie theater in the world owned by a major streaming service. They're showing, I think it's a French film tonight. It's called Immaculate. And then there's a later show too, a different film. On the weekend, like tonight, it's programmed not by Netflix, but by the American Cinematheque, the nonprofit streaming organization that ran the theater for the prior 20 years before Netflix bought it. They show classic films, cutting-edge imported films, international films. Netflix reopened the theater in November after a $70 million renovation that was supposed to take 2 years but took 3 because of the lockdown for a year of COVID. So the theater just reopened with Netflix at the helm in November. I've seen a few films there. It's a great place to see a movie. I've seen a couple of Hitchcock movies. I've seen everything that's some classics. That's what I've been to since November. They're showing something. There'll be a matinee tomorrow, a matinee Sunday, and 2 features both tomorrow and Sunday night. So if you're a cinephile, you might want to check see what's happening. Or you can go see Dune 2 at the Chinese Theater, 3 blocks away on its IMAX screen. That's a great classic movie. Now it's going to be very cold. We're not going to go up into the mountains. I don't go up into the mountains this time of year. You'd really hate me if we did that. It would be really cold. So we're going to stay down here on the flats. I'm coming down here. I want to give us a look at the Hollywood sign before it goes bye-bye. The sign does not have lights on it, so when it gets dark, the sign disappears. Or we're going to get a view of it. Well, I can see it right now from where I'm sitting. We're going to go down here. I want to give you a couple views of the Hollywood sign before it goes bye-bye. After that, we'll go over to Beverly Hills. We're going to go up into the Hollywood Hills in the final third of the tour, and that's where we'll see the majority of our homes. That's something I only do on a weekend, or very, very late in the day. I don't go up there during regular October 15 and April 15. So by the time August rolls around, or September, that sign looks very dusty, because we are a desert at the sea. And after the first rain, we realize how dirty the sign is. It happens so gradually, you don't really notice it. Until it gets its first bath, and you realize how genuinely white it is, and how you've been looking at a very dusty sign for a couple of days. Tempos, I don't know what word I want to use. But here's the thing. It's blinking in Morse code. Now this sounds like a tall tale, but I'll tell you, It's absolutely gospel truth. People live their whole lives in LA and don't know this, but that red light bulb blinks in Morse code. Now I'm pretty old, but I'm not old enough to know Morse code. My father was in World War II. He probably knew Morse code. But what does it spell? H-O-L-L. It spells out the word Hollywood in Morse code over and over and over 24 hours a day. In the middle of the day, when the sun's shining, you can't really see that red blinking light, but it's now dark enough that you can see it. Now, Nat King Cole was the biggest star of Capitol Records when Capitol relocated here in 1956. There's handsome Nat King Cole on the mural there at the base of the building, smiling at us, Mr. Nat King Cole. We call it the house that Nat King Cole built. For 61 years, Capitol has been the label of our homegrown rock and roll legends, the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys formed in a little circles. All the stars are on Hollywood Boulevard, except they go 1 block north on Vine Street, just past Capitol, and they go 2 blocks south on Vine Street down to Sunset Boulevard. So all of them are on Hollywood, except they do go 3 blocks of Vine Street. We just passed Amoeba Records, Amoeba Music Store, and a few of the recent music awardees have gotten theirs in front of Amoeba. The Jonas Brothers got a star recently in front of Amoeba. In 2023, 2 posthumous stuff. So why does it look like it looked in '69 and so freshly painted? Because of a movie from 2019 called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. That movie was set in LA in 1969, and they dressed Hollywood Boulevard and some other places to look, the exterior of the buildings to look exactly like they looked in '69. Brad Pitt drives down the street in a white Cadillac car, and on the other side of his face you clearly see that sharply painted Aquarius Theater looking like it looked. So they've left it there. Hollywood Boulevard, they had temporary movie theater with a 7-story tall movie screen in there. A movie screen that takes up an entire third of that building wall. Now, Cinerama was the movie's first attempt at a big screen format, similar to what we have today with IMAX. Why did movies in the 50s, it's now her offices and studio. But, speaking of Dr. Dre, in 1992 in that building, Dr. Dre recorded the hip-hop album The Chronic, which hip-hop critics consider among the finest hip-hop albums of all time. So if you're a fan of Dr. Dre's The Chronic, he'll get his star on the Walk of Fame on Tuesday. He recorded The Chronic in that gray building that you can now see through this little alley. We've got 3 boutique hotels in a row. Boom, boom, boom. Dream, as well as the mixed Asian restaurant called Pao. Dream has the Highlight Room, restaurant bar on its roof, which is quite pricey, but very chic. Then we've got Mama Shelter, the White Building, and Tommy. So Dream, Mama Shelter, Tommy, 3 boutique hotels that are very hip and in. They all 3 have rooftop bars. There's a newspaper office coming up on the left, but it hasn't been a newspaper for a long time. The Citizen, the first city in the world to have a taxpayer-funded lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, LGBTQ center for recreation and resources. That's been there more than 50 years. The first of its kind on planet Earth. Los Angeles is also the first city in the world to have a Pride Parade, June of 1970. And the Pride Parade actually, but some of you don't. They give them human names. I imagine it's to make them more relatable, although it doesn't really work for me. I don't relate to it more because they named it Jordan. They've been around for a year now. They still make me laugh. I imagine they'll deliver anything that will fit in that case. The ones I've actually seen, I've only seen the beginning. I've never seen the end point. But I've seen waiters put food in there at restaurants. I don't know why. They just make me, they still make me laugh.